today?
All right, so I'm Isaiah. So
I'm Austin.
Julian.
Trey's behind the camera.
we have the Employee Retirement Income Security Act. We can dive right in. We tried hooking it up to the TV, but something went wrong with the HDMI, so cope with this on the PowerPoint presentation through the computer. So, what is the Act? It was established in 1974. It's federal law that sets minimum standards for the most voluntary retirement and health plans. It focuses on those in the private industry specifically. It covers and requires the plans to provide participants with plan information, including important information about plans, features, and funding. It sets minimum standards for participation, vesting, the benefit, and accrual funding. It provides fiduciary responsibilities for those who manage and control plan assets. And then finally, it requires that plans establish a grievance and appeals process for participants to get benefits from their plans.
Alright, so we kind of compared it to kind of things inside of the Act. So one of the things is compared to, it has defined benefits is one part of it, which means that company and the recipient agree on a specific dollar amount dedicated to their funds every single month. And then that's one way, but otherwise companies tend to use a formula. So they take a certain percentage of the annual income for the employee, and then they put that into the account every single year. And then there's a defined contribution plan, which is kind of like using the formula that I just discussed about, but it does not set a specific amount. It has a specific rate, so it's either 5% or higher, just kind of depending on what the company and the employee agree on. And some of the technical terms for these plans can be like a 401k plan, which is probably the most identifiable and the most commonly known one. Otherwise, there's the 403b plan, employee stock ownership. So instead of giving them the funds, they can give them options of having stock in the company that they would receive dividends from, or profit sharing. So for a company like Woodman, since they're employee owned, they do profit sharing with their employees.
So essentially, the act was put into place in order to offer employees some sort of retirement planning aid. Not necessarily making every organization supply one, but for those who did actually supply plans for their employees, it made sure that it meets certain requirements for those employees. Plans can be started as soon as the employee develops some type of income, and basically it gives these employees basically some backbone in the process, making sure the companies don't rip them off once they get retired and things of such nature.
A scenario for this will be an individual get a new job in the private sector, and when signing the employment paperwork, the act will help protect the retirement and healthcare benefits. And then by law, the new employee will have to be informed and given all information regarding their benefits.
So some of our recommendations for it, we didn't really see anything within the law that we thought needed to be changed. It was pretty well spelled out, and all the information was kind of given, and it was really comprehensible kind of description of it. However, we kind of just thought that, since with the new age of employees and new age of people coming in, things have kind of changed with like employee benefits and retirement savings and what people want to do. I think if they just kind of stay up to date with it, and revamp it if they have to, that's kind of the only recommendation that we would have with the act. Otherwise, it's pretty self-explanatory, and it covers all aspects that an employee would need to be protected by. And that's just our works cited pitch.